all challenge vinyl.
Yeah.
And keep like the culture of sign writing alive, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what's so cool about sitting here with you today, learning these stories. And I actually got a question about with the DOT job. So, highway signs. What was that like when painting those highway signs?
They're not painted.
No,
none of them.
Just installations.
No, they're all done with reflective vinyl. Those are all plotted.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just there's no design. All right, by law, there's a national guideline that we have to follow because letters need to be a certain height for a certain size sign. There has to be a certain amount of negative space, and
So, which like sign in particular? So like an example would be, I would love, or if I was doing this DOT job, I did I-87, something off of Deegan. Like.
Thousands. All right, ones that when I tell people I made them, it gets the leaving Brooklyn, entering Brooklyn, forget about it, and all of those.
Yeah,
those
there
are all
you go.
made.
I got it. That one is from my lady to you. She loves those. So
and every Brooklyn entering and leaving borough sign. Brooklyn is the only one that has. Forget about it and all that stuff.
How often do those change? Because I remember that there was a shift there once.
All right, so every time there's a new mayor, a new bottom strip would get placed over. Like I know when de Blasio came in after Bloomberg, I don't know if the sign, some may get stolen, some may get damaged. A car could crash into signs. And so in that regard, I don't know how long they'd be up. But
So how long did you do that?
11 years.
11 years?
11 years.
And then from there, did you end up like shifting away to, because you said that when you were doing that, you didn't really have this outlet for your creative spirit to go through. So after 11 years of working with the DOT.
So I worked at a couple of other local sign shops in Brooklyn. And what I started doing was I needed to have some kind of outlet for my artistic, like my personal artistic.
Yeah, of course.
So I started doing small little graffiti canvases, and a friend of mine suggested that I make them and sell them. He had a website that he would sell his graffiti stuff and other graffiti writers' artwork. At first, I was like, nobody wants to buy my stuff. I'm an 80s graffiti writer that, guys, there was a big boom in the 90s, which I wasn't a part of. So guys in the 80s, who were in that 90s era might not know the 80s guys. At least 80s guys that were just more about bombing subway stuff. So, but he convinced me to make some canvases, and I made little 8x10s, and they sold.
Hell yeah.
So every so often I would make a few of those, he'd put them up, sell, and then I came up with the idea to do like a paper sign on canvas. That's it. Just immediately took off.
So are we now going into this territory?
To this territory now.
Yeah, so these are rad, to anybody who's listening who hasn't seen it. You usually do a tribute to a particular hip hop artist, and then the year, the number, like price of it is the year in relation to it.
They're like old school bodega signs that just the subject matter could be anything.
So which of these, do you have a favorite?
Nah, I have
do you usually give them to the artist?
Them.
I saw the one you did for Cool Bob Love. Bobito Garcia.
Yeah, that was a good one. That actually was purchased by Jose Parla.
Okay.
Yeah, he owns that.
Not too familiar with Jose Parla.
Look him up.
Yeah. All right.
A huge artist. Has, I believe, it's the largest canvas painting, definitely in the United States, if not the world. It's in the lobby of the New World Trade Center. I think it's 15 feet by 100 and something feet long.
Canvas? Imagine stretching that one.
Canvas. Painted it on site. But
that's rad.
So I had a show at a place in Brooklyn called Beer Wax. This is my first solo show. And
right on Vanderbilt, Prospect Heights. Check it out. Good DJ record, music scene right there.
So it just so happens one night Bobito was going to DJ there. All of my stuff was still up from the show. Jose is very good friends with Bobito.
Okay.
Doesn't live far. Came by to see what's up.
Yeah.
And saw my artwork up and wound up buying 2 pieces that night.
Sick.
And then I got the notification in the middle of the night, and I woke up and I see a video of like Bobito going, "Yo, check this!" So for me, just that voice alone, because I grew up on Stretch and Bob hip hop. So, but then I caught a PayPal notification, and it had Jose Parla. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So
that's what's so beautiful about the culture is that the people within it help to keep it alive. We support one another, you know. So that's super rad. So in that sense, did Stretch Armstrong get one too?
No, I reached out to both Stretch and Bob and said, I want to paint something for both of you guys. Stretch still has to get back to me because he just said, let me think about what I want. Yeah. Bob says, I got so much artwork, I don't have any place to put it.
So he needs to start a museum.
Yeah, I actually saw him at a gallery about a little less than a year ago, and we were discussing it, and he's like, I'd love it. He goes, but I just have so much stuff. I don't want to have you make something and then just put it off to the side.
Yeah, and that's respect. So was that because a couple summers ago he did the Rock Rubber 45? Yeah. So is that where you had seen him?
No. This was after. This was at it was a show at Woolworks. It was a Crash, Tats Crew, Days show that they did. Actually, the first show with their new location. Okay. So.
Because when I saw that show, I don't remember exactly where the gallery was, but, you know, he had these, like, a huge just collection of sneakers.
Yeah,
like some of the raddest sneakers I'd ever seen, and so that was cool because there's a particular lettering style that you did, sneakerhead. Yeah. So, are you a sneakerhead?
No. I'm not. I love sneakers, but I wouldn't call myself a sneakerhead.
So that
I wouldn't give
for the culture.
Yeah. So that was for a brand, Sneakerhead, that reached out that said, "Hey, I'd like to do a collab."
Cool.
So the first ones we did, I did an Air Max, and
that was good. Was that the black?
No, that's another one.
That one, that's a good one.
Yeah, and so that one actually, so that was gloss black on flat black, not matte black. There's no sheen. It's completely flat. Yeah. So I had done for a solo show, I did a paint. All right, so I had a canvas. I think it was a 30 by 40, where I was going to do something for Wu-Tang on it. Okay. And I paint the whole canvas, and I didn't like the way it came out. Like, I just hated it. I says, I can't. Yeah. So I rolled the whole entire canvas with flat black one shot. Nice. And let it dry. Yeah. And I'm looking at a completely flat canvas, flat black. I mix up some gloss black lettering enamel, which I know is going to dry super glossy. Yeah. And I quickly sketch back in black.
Oh, okay.
And
which was a tribute to Amy Winehouse?
No, AC/DC.
Oh, okay. So we're going back in black.
So I paint. Actually, no. I'm sorry. It wasn't flat black. It was gloss black. Okay. Gloss black background, and I mix up some flat black poster paint, and I paint back in black on top of the gloss black canvas. Okay. Now, the paint I'm using is flat black, but it's only flat when it dries. Okay. When it goes down, it's gloss black. Yeah. So I'm painting gloss black on gloss black.
I couldn't even see where it goes.
Honestly, I could not see what I was doing. The whole entire canvas, it was painted on muscle memory of the lettering. Yeah. I took my hair dryer, I dry it up, and then you start to see it come to life. That's the same idea that I did for the Air Max one.
That's a beautiful part of the process.
Yeah, it actually came out. I was so thrilled with it because I was like, while I'm painting it, when I did the first stroke, I didn't realize that I can't see it. Yeah. But now I'm committed. So I said, this is either going to be really bad and it wound up coming out beautiful.
Is that like a technique that you tried again after that, or was that just for this one project?
I actually got commissioned to do another piece for somebody that looks just like that. Yeah. Different wording, and then the Air Max one, what wound up being, it was another canvas that I didn't like the way it came out. I'm like, it's going black.
Yeah.
And then I did the Air Max on it.
Sick.
So yeah, that was a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, and then so so this one right here, you all know how the story go.
Yeah.
And then so you write these like hip hop lyrics and everything.
Yeah. So this one was Peter Piper is my favorite Run DMC song, and that line, just as a DJ, that's a line that stands out when you're playing to a crowd.
Yeah, you just know.
So,
everybody, little kids know, little 5 and 4 year olds.
So I figured instead of, let me go with the Run DMC logo, black background, 2 red stripes, instead of the Run DMC in the center of it. Just add the line, and I love it. And then I figured, hey, let me throw it on a shirt.
Yeah. Do you ever get?
It works.
You ever get these pieces to the artists, like to these hip hop MCs?
I did last year. I did. I was a guest artist at Beyond the Streets for a whole bunch of.
Yeah. So give the viewers a little like background on Beyond the Streets.
All right. So Beyond the Streets is, I don't want to say a mobile museum. It's an exhibit that documents street art into graffiti, and then a lot of the offsets of it, hip hop.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff with the Beastie Boys in it. A lot of artists that might have been graffiti artists early on that are now fine artists.
Yeah.
So really, it covers everything. So they had a show a couple of years ago in Los Angeles. It did well. They decided to move the show to New York. I think in Los Angeles only about a month, which the New York show was supposed to be a month long also.
And they kept pushing that
and then it just was on fire.
Yeah.
So the space that they had, they extended it, and it wound up, it was the whole entire summer.
Yeah. 3 months.
So I knew it was coming, and the night before there was a VIP opening on a Wednesday night. The show was opening, I think, on Friday. So Tuesday night, the night before the VIP opening, I got a phone call from a graffiti artist, Chino, who invited me to be one of his guests to the VIP opening.
Nice.
So I went, and it was just, I was blown away by the whole show. There's so much. I don't think if you go in one visit, you can even fully get everything, because I was there dozens of times, and I'm positive I didn't see the whole entire show.
Yeah, that's rad.
But what was cool about that night was LL Cool J was hosting the show.
Okay.
So I had done an LL Cool J Rock the Bells canvas that was in the Beer Wax show. Okay. Never sold. So I'm walking around. I see LL a whole bunch of times during the night. He's got crowds of people. And
of course.
So it popped into my head. I'm like, wait, I got a Rock the Bells canvas.
Just for him.
And I remember, I don't know who tagged him in it, because I tag, at least I try to tag all the artists whenever I do a music canvas. Yeah. But because he doesn't follow me, he's not going to see it. But somebody tagged him that he does follow. Yeah. And when I did post it, he had liked it.
Nice.
So I go on my phone, I scroll, I'm looking for the photo, I get it. As is a break in the conversation of him with whoever he's talking to, I just stick my phone out, I go like that. He sees it, he goes, oh my God, you're the guy that did that? And he grabs me and he hugs me. So he's like, yo, I love that. He's like, yo, I saw that on Instagram and I liked it. I was like, yeah, right.
Real.
So I said, I got the canvas, I want to give it to you. He's like, absolutely, and photos, and blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. So
hell yeah.
At Beyond the Streets, because I used to DJ years ago, I got called in. There was an event that they were having and asked me if it was DMC was going to be interviewed by a man, Sasha Jenkins. Okay. So I think Stretch Armstrong, they had scheduled to DJ, but for whatever reason, they didn't have a DJ. I got the phone call, hey, would you mind coming in and DJing? I'm like, absolutely. Of course, yeah. So immediately I make Run DMC King of Rock canvas. Oh, nice. And I knew obviously he's going to be there. Yeah. And sure enough, and pull it out. And then he had the canvas on stage with him for the whole entire interview. He was in the interview. Yeah, so all the photos are taken. It's just sitting there. Yeah. So yeah, it was awesome.
And that's why it's a pleasure to have you here too, because there's a bunch of people who are going to be hearing this and they don't know. So Peter Paid, man, you have quite a history, like, so, and the reason why I say this is because, like, where you stand in sign writing and New York City, like, hip hop community, graffiti community, and, not